Ciao, ciao everyone. I'm hoping we are live and we are visible. चिंतन भाई मुझे ऐसा लग तो रहा है, but it's finally Derby day again. Derby della Madonnina day to be very specific. But yeah, I'm joined by चिंतन भाई. मैं तो इंटरिस्टा हूँ, परमेश्वर और चिंतन भाई है मेरे साथ मिलानिस्टा. And in a few hours, in just around couple of hours, or sorry, 3 hours or so, we will have the Derby. Chintan bhai, but before that, how are you doing here? How are the nerves holding up?
Oh, amazing, man. It's still as third derby of the season, but we still have butterflies. Still the same feeling after so many years. Probably, जैसे बोलते हैं परम the old saying, mark your calendar for the derby, वही
Hmm.
पहले करते जब fixture list आते हैं, you see when is the derby, what day is it. It is still for me, of course, we have other big teams in the league like Juventus, Roma, and Napoli, whatever. But for me, this is still the biggest game of the season. It is about
Hmm.
pride. Unfortunately, Param, we will not have अपने fans.
Choreos.
Yeah, choreo नहीं रहेगा, लेकिन this is something you look forward to, and that sets the
Yeah.
tone. And it's not just that
Yeah.
Param globally बहुत famous हो जाते हैं. Milan and Inter के
Yeah.
choreography, tifos बहुत famous हो जाते हैं. And it's a big clash. It's a very intricate intercity clash. एक ही family में शायद दो supporters होते हैं. And of course,
Hmm.
that is what we are going to talk about also in this stream. But man, परम इतने मैं तो कितने साल से देख रहा हूँ, almost 20 years, 20 plus years. The butterflies are still, even if we beat the biggest of the biggest clubs, but when you play face Inter, and it's the same old saying, right? Derby में form goes out of the window, परम. So butterfly is super
Definitely.
excited, and that's the reason why I wanted to do this with you. कि एक perfect Milan Derby का preview कर लेते हैं. Just talk about the past, the how
Hmm.
fancy this derby is.
डेफिनेटली ये प्रीव्यू ज्यादा लंबा नहीं होगा बिकॉज वी एनीवेज प्लान्ड ऑन अ वेरी शॉर्ट वन एंड पिछले स्ट्रीम में भी किया था हमने. सो वी डू हैव अ स्पेशल फीचर एज पार्ट ऑफ दिस स्ट्रीम. वी विल be getting to that very soon, but let me see who's in the house. Ek to 11 people in the chat. Please like, share and subscribe, guys. Again, your support is what makes sure this channel grows, this community grows, and it's a very positive community, so let's keep that going. Unfortunately, we had to ban one person from our WhatsApp group and from this channel because the person was constantly, directing toxic comments towards, in general, and mainly towards Chintan bhai. So that person had to be removed, unfortunately. तो भाई वो सब में indulge मत करो, community positive रहिए, वैसे ही रखो. So yeah, Siddhant is here. He says we have to win this game. Yeah, Siddhant as an Interista, तो I agree. मतलब बहुत बड़ा game है. Again, I'll share the WhatsApp group ka link again on this chat because I'm sure some people want to join, and last time I forgot to share it. I don't know what's going on, why there are firecrackers being burst, but अगर आपको disturb हो रहा है तो sorry.
Anticipation for the derby.
Mir is also here. Ravindra already gives his prediction, says that Inter is likely to win. Ravi is here as always. We are all good here. Mir सब ठीक तो चल रहा है. I'm sure Chintan bhai is doing as well. Normal Sunday, finally getting to rest after a long while. At least
Yeah,
from my
yeah.
end.
Yeah. You've been actually working quite hard, yeah, Param. You've been very hectic weeks for you, I
या
guess.
मैं वही बोल सकता हूँ. लाइक ये वीकेंड रेस्ट करने मिला, अब शायद आगे का वीक भी हेक्टिक हो जाए फिर से. सो जस्ट फिंगर्स क्रॉस्ड. होपफुली इंटर कैन मेक माय वीक बेटर इन दैट ऑन दैट नोट. Milan always deliver when they're down. I can see this as a 2-1 after Milan go 1. देख पॉसिबल था वो कॉन्सियस की वजह से फाइटिंग स्पिरिट इंस्टिल हुआ है, which we will talk about. I agree. Which you saw in the second derby, especially Super Copa final में. So while the squad is has its flaws, while the squad has gaps in it, they still have that fighting spirit. Obviously थोड़े players बदल गए, हम वो भी देखेंगे. मोराता चला गया है. Jimenez will not be available for the derby because registration नहीं हुआ है टाइम पे, obviously. तो वो तो नहीं है. Zalewski on the other hand, because he's an under 22 player, in that bracket he is eligible because he does not officially have to be registered per se. So
Yes.
but Jimenez is obviously older, so he can't make it to the derby, and उसका registration हुआ नहीं है. Shubdeep is here. Nice to have you. He's a Milanista. But Chintan bhai, we might as well call the two fans we had planned. I think this is a good time if you think so. uh,
Yeah. Perfect. पहले थोड़ा
so
बता
we
देते हैं
have in
कि
the house, if Adresh and Robbie can hear me, if you guys can turn your camera on, is when I'll unveil you. We have
first of all,
Adresh.
it's a very rare situation.
Rare.
It does
Yeah.
not happen. It's a very Milan city situation where we
Yeah.
have two fans, one of Inter and one of Milan. They're cousins and they're pretty close, and they
Hmm.
follow probably two of the biggest rivals in the world of football. So Robbie and Adrish, welcome, welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
As
Yeah,
you,
before we give them the floor, again, as Chindan bhai said, ये बहुत rare story है. ये usually Indian Indian football scene में आप शायद Premier League fans में देखोगे, आप La Liga fans में देखोगे, mainly Real Madrid, Barcelona, but usually do not find two brothers that are supporting Inter and AC Milan. So this is unique and good to see. Both are very close and both are the same age as well. And guys, the floor is yours. I'll start with. We can go home to away. वैसे ही start करते हैं. Robbie से start करते हैं because Milan is the designated home team in this one.
He's
Yeah.
elder
Robbie,
brother also. He's elder
he's
brother.
okay. He's older by whatever.
It
Yeah,
all
he's
it
the
all
older.
matches up. It all matches up.
So yeah, nice to
Yeah.
have you, Robbie. Yeah, first of all,
Thank you so
how are
much.
you doing? And in general, let us know your side of story first as to how did you start supporting AC Milan, and then we'll get to Adrish and we'll see why y'all never tried to convince each other to support the same club. But yeah, you can go ahead.
See, coming from a football family, like from my grandpa and everything, football was always there on the TV, and I was interested. And then I got into like there was this game called FIFA 4, and I was playing that. And in that, there was two teams, Juventus and Milan, in the demo. And
Okay.
I got very fascinated by the fact that Milan kept on defeating me. And that's why it was back into the 2009-10, around that time. I just wanted to see experience the real thing, so I just turned on the TV and thought about like uh, digitally, just I was watching all these players, and then I'm looking at them, the real thing. There was Nesta, there was Gattuso, Ambrosini, Abbiati, all these players I was just looking at, and I suddenly fell in love. I felt a little bit of connection with the team instantly. Like that's where I belong. ऐसा एक feeling आया था. So that's
That's
how like I got into Milan, basically.
that's a nice
Wow.
story. That's a nice story. I like when there is unique twist to it. Like people say very specific things associated. But on the other hand, Ajay bhai is here. He has you have a third brother who is a Romanista by any chance.
But
He
sorry,
would love
Ajay.
to have that because
Oh,
he's been trying his best, obviously, Chindan bhai, to grow the Roma
community.
community. Yeah.
Ajay bhai, we might need to go to another state to find a Romanista.
Yeah.
I guess we've captured Bengal right now, so we can go somewhere
Yeah,
else.
yeah, yeah.
So Adrish,
अजय भाई
man,
को मतलब
this
मुझे
is
लग रहा है अलग कंट्री स्टार्ट करना पड़ेगा खुद का. But
so yeah.
all
So
jokes
Adrish,
aside,
Adrish, yeah,
before I
so
come to
you were
yeah,
you must have seen, of course. Did you realize that Robbie is already started supporting Milan, and that's why you chose Inter, or your Inter journey is separate?
Yeah, that might have all been in the subconscious, but it's like, my story parallels Rob's, but it's also very different at the same
hmm,
time. It is something like, I for one, like, I was a very one of the studious guys, but it didn't I am not from a sporting family like Rob, though we are cousins. Like, I'm not from
okay,
a sporting family like Rob's. Okay, so I was not much into football or anything. So but then what happened is, around 2017, when I actually got into college. At that time I got the freedom and away from the school hectic schedule and all the studies, tuitions and all. So I thought that now is the time to get into football proper.
wow,
I can get the time to actually devote to what I like. So I always remember this jersey I am wearing for a reason, because I always remember my friends, they all used to support football and I was always the outsider guy. That's why I always liked underdog stories. And that 2009-10 Champions League win, that is one of my core memories with Zanetti with the trophy, and he was going and Cordova, Lucio everywhere around.
yeah,
That that is one of the core memories, and blue is my favorite color. So
okay,
it's like from 2017 onwards, I got into
hmm,
watching football, and then obviously I played like Rob. I played a my club. Yeah, my one is PES. Like his is FIFA,
Yeah.
my is PES. It
हाँ,
always has to be opposite.
oh,
So
हर
of
चीज
course.
में. So
हर चीज
what
में
Adrish
rivalry है.
before he continues, he told us is that वो लोग हर चीज में opposite है. तो वो तो आएंगे ही,
yep.
but it's a unique story, Chindan. I'll tell you why before Adrish continues, because while he
Yeah.
may have started supporting late, he actually still has good knowledge of the past. So we were having a discussion on the Inter Club India group, and he remembered a lot of things, as in he knew a lot of things of the past pre 2010 and in great detail. So matlab he has obviously Adrish, he has basically lent into his passion very well. Matlab, once he started
Yeah.
supporting Inter, I'm sure he's done his research and whatnot. But go ahead, Adresh, go ahead, complete your story here.
Yeah. So I played that My Club career mode, which is basically career mode for PES.
Yeah.
And Mauro Icardi that season, I know Param bhai knows
Yeah.
that. I know that. But he's one of those. I am also a big fan of WWE. So that's why I used to watch 10 Sports and I used to watch the UCL magazine shows. That's when I saw Zanetti with the trophy and all.
Zanetti,
So
yeah, magazine shows.
yeah. So basically, Mauro Icardi is like one of those heel characters of WWE whom you love
Yeah,
to
yeah, I
hate.
get what you mean.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he was absolutely on fire that season, and his goals. I'll come to that later. My favorite derby is one of my niche picks, but his goals and his style, the way he cupped his ears, and absolutely unbelievable, out of
No,
this
Chintan
world.
bhai,
And
Others, there was
Chintan,
no other motivation भी नहीं था ना Wanda के लिए.
no, no,
Wow.
I knew.
Because we have a lot of Wanda fans here in our panel.
no, man.
Of
I'm
course,
just
of
really
course.
sad at the part that Icardi made you the fan, but all jokes aside, yeah. This is Chintan, this is good to see because everybody has their own reasons. Like you have obviously Robbie ka ek pura alag reason, you have Adrish ka ek completely different reason, but both have share the same passion for their respective clubs. And I'll get to you guys again, and I'll get to Chintan. But let
Yeah.
me just see a few more comments. Ravi is obviously trolling. If you guys are new, he's the ultimate troll
Yeah,
of the
he's
channel. He's
obvious.
a good guy.
He's always
He's a
been
good
Inter
Any
fan.
day.
He's always been
He's a,
Inter
he's a
Any
good guy. He's a good guy. We need
He's
people
a
like
good guy.
him.
He's a good
But
guy.
this is a good question, Chintan bhai. This is a good question because if they're opposite on everything, in dono mein,
Yeah, I don't
somebody
like
has to
pineapple.
somebody
I
has to
neither.
like pineapple on pizza, right? Then if
Neither do.
they're opposite on everything,
This is somewhere we
I
have
don't
to
like
agree.
pineapple on pizza.
I don't
okay,
like
fair.
pineapple. Period. So
Okay, so one thing you guys agree on, which is fair enough. Napoli lose an Inter win, it's the best result. Bhavya is an Inter fan. I remember from Instagram when you had reached out to Inter Club India. So nice to see you, Bhavya. But yeah, I'll come to the rest of the comments a bit later. Pitlane, nice to have you. इसका लास्ट में दे देंगे यार डार्बी डेला मेडोनिना के साथ प्रेडिक्ट करेंगे तब we'll just give general predictions थोड़ा. Robbie or famous says Mir, he's a Milanista as well. Rajat, nice to have you. Interista in the house. हाँ ये कर दिया रवि. I realized you. Thanks for pointing it out. I'm glad we can do that actually on StreamYard. But Chintan भाई, we'll get to them. Of course उनकी story तो बीच बीच में break down करेंगे. क्या लग रहा है यार Derby feel? How's the feeling? What do you think? Predicted lineups तो I'll pull up, but what's the feeling? What's the early feeling?
First of all, a little disappointed with the fans, but of course they have their own reasons also. I know the ticketing price is a little expensive, and after traveling there, I understand what they always say: football is for the common man. Football is for the people, and when you make the ticketing price a little expensive, I had inquired about Champions League tickets myself, and it is a little steep. Param, matlab, you will think twice, and especially if it's a Milan versus a Real Madrid clash or something like that, you would want to not miss it, but then you would want to think twice because it's going to put a hole in your pocket. So I'm only disappointed about there's going to be no tifo, no choreography, because
Yeah.
the best part, Param, about all these years जो देखने में आया है, the choreographies are so appealing. It's one crush. Like I still remember very, very famous choreography where the Milan Devil is eating the Inter snake, and there's one snake. There's one big famous Inter choreography where the snake is enveloped the Milan Devil.
Yeah.
So all these are such beautiful clashes. It highlights what the city means. Param, and I'm telling you that the vibe of the city is something else on the day.
Yeah.
And butterflies, as I said before, जब stream चालू हुआ था, when the game is about to पूरे दिन में कुछ मन में विचार नहीं आ रहा. I was trying to watch a movie, trying to read a book, but
same.
What is going to happen? Oh my God, Jimenez is not going to play. Kyle Walker is going to start. How is he going to have this? It is just, and I thought, my wife keeps telling me after all these years, I thought I'll be calmer when it comes to Derby. I'm telling you, I was calmer in a Champions League game, but it's not. It's when it's a Derby, form is out of the window, and bragging rights are very important. And now that I'm a part of this Calcio community, परम को मुंह दिखाने लायक नहीं रहूंगा अगर हार गए तो. So वो भी नहीं करना है. So yeah, Param, it's something else only, and it's not just me. I know because of me, my friends are so hyped for the Derby too, because सबको पता है इतनी rivalry है. And Param, जैसे मैंने before offline मैंने पूछा था जैसे किसी भी ग्रुप में किसी ने माइट बी अ ड्रॉ. आई डोंट रिमेम्बर लास्ट टाइम लीग में तो ड्रॉ कभी हुआ था. लाइक
Yeah. So
fascinating.
I'll pull that up. ये नोट पे थोड़े इंटरेस्टिंग फैक्ट्स भी डालते हैं आपके लिए. Again, I'll come to the comments, guys. I've been taking it, so don't worry. I'll keep coming to the comments. But ये थोड़ा head to head देखने के लिए obviously Inter is ahead in general also in the all time head to head. But current ये थोड़ा recent है जो footmob डालता है. But obviously Milan won the recent 2-1. But उसके पहले जो 6 थे, चिंतन भाई spoke of a 0-0 draw. पहले तो Serie A के पहले, this is Serie A obviously, so that is more relevant. But before reaching the Serie A draw, all the way. We have to go all the way back to 2022 when we had a 0-0 draw in this game, which was in the Coppa Italia. Adresh and Robbie, matlab, you can see how different the lineups were. You still had Brozovic at Inter, and at AC Milan, you still had Romagnoli.
Romagnoli.
Yeah, you still had Kessié, Skriniar on the respective sides and whatnot. It was very different. You still had Edin Dzeko. You still had Brahim Diaz at AC Milan. Obviously, your coach was also Stefano Pioli at the time. But बहुत different था. And this time, obviously, over the 2 legs, Inter went through because I remember that eventually we won the second leg. But as Chintan Bhai said, in second leg was 3-0. Obviously, yeah. But all the way, Chintan bhai, to your point, Serie A के लिए बहुत पीछे जाना पड़ता है. 2018. This is when literally Inter was just leaving its banter era, and Milan, you can say, was still थोड़ा stuck in it, Chintan bhai, because Milan skipped the banter era after Inter. And look at the teams, guys, Adresh and Robbie. This is hilarious. कमेंट्स पे भी आप लोग बताओ पहले आपको क्या लगता है. अगर आप लोग शॉक्ड हो थोड़े प्लेयर्स को देख के. Yes, Inter did have Cancelo if you didn't know about it. Chintan bhai,
Hakan on the other side. Hakan on the other
side. Exactly.
And there's Patrick Cutrone.
Montolivo was still playing. Rafinha Alcantara, yes, he was also at Inter, and he was
on loan.
He was actually quite good. Miranda still था जो पहले Atletico Madrid में खेलता था. Perisic was there. Calabria was actually quite decent back then. Donnarumma was there. Ricardo Rodriguez was not that good. Obviously, Bonucci. बहुत अलग टाइम था. Obviously, Adrish Icardi था तेरा. बेंच भी देखोगे तो benches were terrible, like Borini, Bora Valero. I personally liked. I was just telling Chintan before we went live, he was quite good. But look at this terrible. This is where it gets worse. Pinamonti, Dalbert, oh my god, Antonelli, Mauri, Storari,
Jose Mauri,
my god,
Musacchio.
Yeah, terrible. Chintan Musacchio has given you some memories, I'm pretty sure.
Oh man,
Musacchio was something else.
Davide Santon. So Inter was at least still Inter. अगर आप compare करो, Inter still had a Perisic, a Brozovic, and Icardi used to do well. But Milan, on the other hand, my god, you had a Cutrone and Suso. Oh boy, this was, and we used to win again back then. Also, we used to win more. But Chintan bhai, ये आपने अच्छी थोड़ी memories निकाली, because अभी तो हम अच्छा कर रहे हैं, but it's always good to look back at some of the struggles.
No, my point was coming to this point is that usually derbies are never a 0-0 or a draw, to be a matter of fact. Derbies are never 0-0. I think teams usually give their all. And Zlatan के आने के बाद तो थोड़ा और spicy हो गया था Lukaku और Zlatan का. And I think what I love is the Theo and Denzel Dumfries. Right now, Denzel is leagues above him when it comes to form.
In form, of course, Denzel is far ahead right now on form.
But Theo is probably the only kick or the wake-up call पर हम बोल सकते हैं which Theo needs might just be this game where Denzel might just do something and get that fire going.
That's where it goes back to the point that right now, obviously, even if Milan has beaten us twice, Inter is obviously doing considerably better. But then I think Adrish and Robbie will also agree, it's a derby after all. It all goes out the window. Inter has won derbies where Milan came in form, out of nowhere. And this season we saw Milan won the 2 derbies when Inter was, the better side. Exactly. So it happens, this is very tricky. You can't say anybody is the favorite here. Obviously, because he's busy closing a deal for Saint Maximin. I'm not sure Conte, that's the player Conte would have loved.
Param, I won't be surprised if he flew down to Saudi to get this deal. ADL ने बोला होगा personally जाना पड़ेगा, ये last 2 days बाकी है तो शायद.
Exactly. Yes, disappeared. Oh yeah, there is obviously Roma versus Napoli भी है. So if Inter win tonight, we'll
Southern Derby, yes.
Yeah, and even if we lose, we'll be hoping Roma win because gap ना बढ़े, इसीलिए Adresh. But Derby, of course, as Chintan bhai said, Southern Derby, Derby del Sole, वो भी बड़ी derby है. हमने preview किया था, बाद में आप देख सकते हो major stream पे. I think who is a Milanista, he says time for a hat trick this time. You all have suffered enough. देखते हैं, hopefully not. मैं तो hopefully बोलूँ. या अगेन रोनाल्डो और मेसी ये मतलब उस पे आते हैं, थोड़ा एक Q&A करेंगे इनके साथ. I'll star it, Ravindra. Theo and Dumfries are match made in heaven. Yes, because both have gotten the better of each other on many occasions. Chindan, it almost feels it has been level. Skriniar, you see, he's ended up at Fenerbahce, with all due respect to Fenerbahce. That's where his career has gone, bro. So he left as a rat, and then you get what you deserve at times. I've heard rumors about players getting frustrated with gods. देख रेगन, मैंने दो sources से देखा ये news. One was Tutto Sport, which is not really reliable for AC Milan, but the second source was Republica, which is not good for transfer news, but their investigative journalism is very good. So there could be some truth to it. We'll touch upon all this very briefly. पहले मेरे को थोड़ा predicted lineups हुए वो देखना है. मैं ये डालता हूँ GGMU वैभव, ये डालता हूँ, just 2 minutes मेरे को दे, मैं थोड़ा ये करके डाल देता हूँ. But just let me take a few comments and we can get back to the discussion. First time going for Inter. Hope they make Milan season worse. अरे बाप रे, I guess this is a Milanista very unhappy with the management. Chintan bhai. So jersey से तो दिख रहा है Milanista है, so I understand. But interesting to see. सुधाई होगी हमारी, बाप रे. वो थोड़ा, I love the jinxing that goes on the group as well.
Jinx protector.
Calabria
farewell stream करो.
भाई zero views आएगा, भाई zero views.
No, but before I would still like to say it. It was very sad to see him in tears.
Yeah, he was.
Exactly.
You can say probably our last homegrown captain who eventually lifted the trophy. And जैसे हम लोग बात किया, वो 2 साल पहले तक तो decent था. I know Kvaratskhelia को जो the semi-final run, he kept him in his pocket. Haaland को like Mbappe को भी थोड़ा control में किया था. So my 2 cents is only that I would never wish. I knew, of course, he had to move on because we have to move on from bad players. But I just hoped he could have at least gotten a chance to say bye to the fans. Fan, stadium में शायद आज होता in the squad or something, could have got his decent farewell. You don't want. Param. He's been playing with Milan since he was 9 years old. That's a long career, and he said it that this is as good as breaking up with your wife.
Yeah.
So,
Obviously, we understand. We also have our own iteration of academy players. ये तो समझता है, it's an understandable story. Sorry, ये स्नेहल थोड़ा स्ट्रीम में पहले जाके बाद में देख लेना, because उसकी स्टोरी लंबी है और अभी बार-बार रिपीट करते बैठेंगे तो भाई स्ट्रीम चलते रहेगा. It's a unique story, but if we keep repeating, I think थोड़ा खिंच जाएगा स्ट्रीम. So please do go watch it. We started giving us a story at the very beginning of the stream, so you know where to go back to. So don't mind that. Just two more comments and we'll get back to Adrish and Robbie. Calabria, he did win a Scudetto, of course. My club name in FIFA is Watermelon. I didn't understand the joke. If you can enlighten me, मुझे समझा नहीं. Watch along नहीं यार, because कैसा है, all of us have work tomorrow and that stream will end by 12:30 यार. तो मतलब ऐसा, मतलब we'll be probably tired also. So we thought थोड़ा कुछ तो at least कर लेते before the watch along. And thanks to Chintan bhai, he came up with the idea. So might as well do this. Inter away kit देखा आपने? हाँ देखा मैंने. It's a good kit. Captain America rescue us again. Oh okay. So yeah, Milanisti want Pulisic to turn up. But let's get back to you guys. One thing I wanted to ask you all is, which Chintan bhai asked you all as well before the stream. What was the reason you all never tried to because you all keep saying you all are opposite on almost everything, and that shows in your club ka support. What was the reason you all never convinced each other to support the same team? या फिर same things otherwise also? क्या था? Adrish, you can start this time and then maybe Robbie can take.
And of course, to add to that question, जब भी of course मिलते हो, तो suppose आज डार्बी में जो भी रिजल्ट आया, suppose आज imagine Inter wins, do you, Robbie, Adrish, so imagine if Inter loses, do you not show your face or pick up his calls for the next 2-3 days? ऐसा कुछ. So
we'll start with Adrish.
We'll go with Adrish first. Yes, we'll go with Adrish first.
Yeah, to answer the first question is, it's a very unique thing that me and Rob have. Like it's like we are similar but different at the same time. It's like
I get what
Milan. So like we both loved soft drinks, but he was Coca-Cola, I was Pepsi. Then in Bollywood also he was Hrithik Roshan, I was Shah Rukh Khan. It always mirrored. And and though we are cousins, like our grandmothers, our paternal grandmothers are sisters. So though we are in that way a bit distant cousins, but in reality we are actually not that, because there is another thing is because my maternal place is basically Rob's place.
Okay.
So
that is same neighborhood.
Same neighborhood, I understand.
That is basically how my parents married, and so that's why whenever I used to go to my maternal place, it was Rob there, and we have like pictures together from like when my first opened my eyes. Rob was
Wow.
there. Yeah, we have always been together, and in our family we are the two who are like closest. The others are much older or much younger.
Wow.
So
Okay.
Chintan
we
bhai,
have been like in that way
go ahead, go
closer
ahead.
than even real brothers also.
Wow.
And
That
Wow.
before you
yeah,
continue, Chetan भाई ये तो मतलब ये actually ऐसा लग रहा है ये these guys should have been born in Milan ऐसा type का story because when
Yeah,
Adresh
yeah,
also said
exactly.
when he said he picked Inter because of the colors, this is what they do in Italy,
Yeah.
right? When they
Yes,
choose
yes,
the
yes.
team. So, but
Yes,
go ahead,
yes.
Adresh, continue.
yeah. And so basically, if I remember like what happened after in the last derby, like the first derby of this season, yeah, we watched it together, and then when the Gavia goal went in, I was all fuming, and it's like that we don't avoid each other, we banter behind each other,
Yeah.
That
and
is
yeah, like even after the Super Coppa Italiana final loss, I was totally at war with him, like saying that if that first goal of Theo Hernandez doesn't go in, yeah, that's me being salty. You can say whatever you want, but
that's fine. That's fine.
I
That's good.
always kept on saying ki, like it doesn't mean
That's
that Inter should concede the 2 more
yeah,
goals.
no. That's
I
fandom.
accepted.
That's fandom. You can. That's fandom. That's how
I
it. That's how
accepted
it.
that,
Yeah.
but in my mind, I had this belief that if that Theo goal does not go in, the comeback does not happen, and that Theo goal shouldn't have happened because it was a Aslani foul, as the
Yeah.
replay showed. And we have a group of our friends, and our chat that night went on for like 100 messages. So yeah, it was.
But
It
Adresh,
was
I
so
understand. I understand. Very very great story to know and the passion you all share. Again, Ravi is a Hellas Verona fan, so भाई तू ही एक है जो
Yeah.
वेरोना भेज देंगे उन
what a
अल्ट्रास के
choice.
साथ तेरे तू तू मिंगल कर तब देखते क्या मजा आएगा उन अल्ट्रास के साथ Hellas Verona के. But Robbie, your end of the story on the same
Being
questions
the
which
being the elder brother, did you never
yeah
even once think कि
Yeah.
इसको थोड़े black and sorry red करवा देंगे थोड़ा ऐसा सोचा नहीं कभी?
That- no, subconsciously, I wanted somewhere there. I wanted, like for him to support Milan as well. So just because, so that I can feel a
I'm
sense of
supporting Milan.
community. No,
The other side.
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
like
go
I
ahead.
wanted a sense of community because there was when I started supporting, I saw nobody else supporting Milan, and I felt really alone because everywhere I went, there was Barca, Real, uh, Man United,
Premier
all
League
kinds
club.
of stuff. But yeah, Premier League clubs or Bayern Munich, but no Milan or even Italian football
Yeah.
fans.
mm,
And
mm.
yeah, fun fact, I also support the Italian national team as well.
Of
हाँ
That's
course.
वो तो I think वो
yeah.
mostly अगर वो by default हो ही जाता है except me
उसमें
because
सिर्फ
I do not
उसमें
support
yeah,
Yeah,
उसमें
even
परम
I
is
do
I
not
not
don't
supported.
support.
support it.
I do not
Wow.
support.
Yeah.
I also
Yeah.
don't support.
So it's an inter problem. It's an inter
No, it's
problem.
not
Yeah, it's
We're
an inter
international.
problem.
We're international for a reason. So
Yeah.
good response but all jokes aside guys थोड़े comments लेके again
yeah,
guys keep your comments coming in keep your we appreciate it here because again these two you see such unique stories are made possible if you guys keep supporting us ये community जो WhatsApp पे बढ़ रहा है ये वो क्यों हो रहा है it's only because you guys push us to do so Chintan bhai if you have your WhatsApp open if you could share the group ka link because I by any chance or at least share it to me on private so I can share it here something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that I'll just quickly share it with the chat Adrish, मैं तेरे को आंसर कर दूंगा. Do not give any explanation, just pick one. I want you to just pick it like a on the spot thing.
oof.
Wanda.
One.
Okay, I will just give the answer, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't explain.
Lautaro Martinez.
Easily, man. No way. Icardi, Lautaro even surpassed Icardi. So good question, Dipesh.
Yep.
Hakan at Milan or Hakan at Inter? Robbie, you can answer this as an. You can try to be biased or neutral.
Oh,
but I want you.
how can it Bayer?
Hakan had
Level-
Bayern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good question. But if you had to answer, like, obviously the Hakan of Inter is better, but if you want to pick,
Like if it's about just being, favorite or who I liked more, Hakan and Milan.
wow, interesting. Seedorf at Milan or Inter? Of course, ये तो Seedorf at Milan आ जाएगा
Milan.
objectively बोले तो.
Milan. वो रवि जोशी को पूछ रहा है.
Yeah, I know. Zlatan at Milan. This is good because this Chintan by this because Zlatan at Inter
Yeah,
was
prime.
Oh my god.
brilliant. As much as I don't like the guy,
Yep.
but
I feel
Zlatan
I
at
feel
Inter. This
Zlatan's prime was Inter. His
Wow.
prime with Adriano, I think was Inter. I think if you
Yeah,
go to
yeah.
his
Oh
best
my
year,
God, वो pitch पे क्या करता था,
Right.
and I was
from
in
that
awe. I'll be,
and that first year at Barcelona, like not first year,
Yeah.
but yeah, that Barcelona, I think he sort of regressed over there. He came to Milan, of course, he
yeah,
was good enough for Serie A, but that
But he won the Serie A when he
yeah,
first
yeah,
came to Milan.
yeah, but he
yeah,
was
yeah.
still regressing,
He
I
won
feel, as
more
a player.
series with us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah.
he
So, but
was
this is a
still
good question.
at prime. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, good question. Actually, Ravi, this was a better question, I feel. So, Chintan bhai
Mm.
goes for Inter. Robbie, you go for what?
You
I
go
go
for
for Zlatan at Inter.
Adresh, I'm assuming you agree because I also
yeah.
agree as well.
Yep,
This
yep.
is funny. This is funny because इसमें pick करना ही मुश्किल है. At least
Balotelli
I
is
think
Milan.
Milan. Milan, yeah. I mean,
Balotelli,
technically
Milan.
Milan,
Yeah,
yeah.
Milan.
Because
He had very
Inter में,
cameo appearance. Yeah.
huh?
He had very cameo appearances, right? Balotelli at Inter at the time.
Inter it was yeah very occasional and he did not मतलब obviously Mourinho के साथ fall out हुआ ये वो
Yeah.
so Ravi is obviously trolling Ricky Alvarez clears both मस्त Ricky Alvarez भाई याद मत दिला. This is
Zlatan.
ये
Zlatan at
interesting है. UA को तूने डाल दिया mix में but let's not
I
bring
was
them in
thinking
because
No, but
but
I
like
that
still feel
culture
Juve
was.
he was learning. So he
learning
had
yeah yeah
better
yeah
teammates over there. So he trained with probably better teammates. By the time he
yeah.
got fine tuned, I think he came to Inter. So I
Yep.
think he was the
Hmm.
best.
Yeah, yeah, I think Inter he was beast Regan वो
और
यूए में जीता भी था but
रवि के लिए Zlatan at Arsenal training ground.
रविंद्र रविंद्र I've start this question ये actually अभी ले लेते चल रविंद्र I don't
Oh,
again I don't want any explanation okay this time Robbie I'll start with you one you have to pick no
अरे
explanation okay just you have to pick don't have to explain
Messi.
Adresh same no explanation just pick
can I say none?
no, you have
none
to say
fair
one.
enough
Wait,
fair enough
wait. I had the option to say none.
no you don't but if he doesn't want to ठीक है तू pick करना पड़ेगा चल Adresh you have to pick
Ah,
Okay, if I have to pick,
yeah,
I
yeah.
think so. I'll go with Cristiano Ronaldo.
Of course, had to
Sorry?
be. Had to be
I'll go
Ronaldo.
with Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo.
Okay fair enough of
I
course
If I
opposite
had
I
to
went
pick, but you're
Messi na.
forcing me here.
हाँ नहीं
No,
नहीं
but yeah, if I had the option of none, then I wouldn't pick either of them.
Yeah.
नहीं
Yeah.
ओके दैट्स इंटरेस्टिंग दैट्स एन इंटरेस्टिंग वियेरा
Yes,
मिलान में खेला ही नहीं ज्यादा पिटलिन वो क्या
हाँ,
पांच
बहुत कम
अपीयरेंसेस
था।
भी नहीं किया
Yeah,
पांच
you know,
अपीयरेंसेस भी
बहुत
नहीं किया
कम।
मिलान he was
Vieira at
actually quite
Arsenal.
yeah he was quite decent at Inter but obviously he came towards the end mostly
Yeah.
वो यूए
But he
में
was
ज्यादा
still-
खेला हाँ
But
बोलो चेतन
Param, I feel his intelligence. He was, I know, slower, but you could sense a player as good as Vieira, you never loses his sense of intelligence on the pitch. And वो
yeah
इंटेलिजेंट
he
दिख
was
रहा था.
at the end of the day तीन स्कूडेटी तो जीता ना मतलब that have to and one super copa right and Juventus में he was okay I would say yeah Arsenal is his second team but all
Yeah.
that aside guys अभी थोड़ा predicted lineups पे आते हैं and then we can close this with a bit of questioning because obviously stream there are other games people will be wanting to watch
Yes,
and
Ravi, as per predicted lineups, he
we will
should
be
be
yes
starting.
so that is why exactly I'll be pulling that up very shortly so पहले designated home team से start करते हैं which is AC Milan just let me pull this up चिंतन में आपको वो लिंक मिली ग्रुप
नहीं,
की
वही देख रहा हूँ.
just
Ravindra,
share it with me
Yeah, Ravindra, I think he answered. He said Messi. I think Robbie said Messi.
so this is AC Milan's predicted 11 चिंतन भाई आप तब तक भेज दो then I'll ask your thought get your thoughts on it wait I'll just one second because the comment is covering Adresh yeah sorry that was a
Yeah,
lag over there yeah no it's all good I'll just pull it up again just 1 second guys Milan so obviously this is as per Sky Italia Robbie and Chintan Bhai as you can see obviously Maignan in goal Walker starts makes his AC Milan debut Tomori was on the verge of leaving rejected Tottenham stays also partnering Pavlovic who could have left this window Theo hai Benacer Reinders Musa starts which obviously is going to annoy AC Milan fans but ऐसा है नहीं कि ज्यादा ऑप्शंस है पुलिसिच लेआ और टैमी अब्राहम बिकॉज अभी AC Milan के पास स्ट्राइकर नहीं है Morata went to Galatasaray Santiago Jimenez cannot be registered in time initial thoughts on the Milanisti in the panel and also from the people in the comments I'll get Adresh's thoughts after that bolo bhai
This is nothing else. There's no one left to start. I think Gabriel is injured. Malik Shaw is just returning from. They're all fit. They all trained, so they were never going to start. Of course, with Fofana gone, the only workable midfielder Musa should have and would have been benched had Fofana not been suspended for this game, because it was Musa's error probably that led to the debacle of Champions League. जो बोल सकते हैं. Of course, Tammy, Morata, for me, one of the same. What I like about Tammy here is his work rate. His work rate is decent. He'll be chasing quite a bit. जैसे परम ने लास्ट टाइम थोड़ा बात किया था, I am kind of concerned with Pulisic. As in not, of course, he scored a goal, he scored a penalty and all, but in the two games, game involvement थोड़ा कम रहा है उसका. What we want Pulisic to be floating around everywhere. And जैसे परम हमने last time discuss किया था, I'm not going to be very harsh on Tijani, but this is the time he has to turn up. Like, we need prime Tijani Reinders over here because he also has been on and off for a while, and Param, I think, agrees to it also. So I feel that big hole if they would turn up. But yeah, Musa again, I've never been a fan. Work rate, talent, I always say one thing: your dedication, work ethics is way more important than talent. And I feel sometimes he's lackluster. Then again, very excited to see Walker. Yeah, Param after the Emerson Royal and David Calabria के time से, he at this age, जैसे वो निधि का comment था Param, prime Kaka or something is that current same था. I think current Kyle Walker is faster than Emerson Royal and Calabria. So pretty much as I expect this lineup is. I just hope Pavlovic continues his run, and I would like to say it again that the last two matches में जो Pavlovic खेला है, it looks like he values the jersey more than anyone on the pitch. I hope that is not the case. They understand this is a derby. So pretty much the expected lineup I expect जो हुआ वही निकल रहा है. Robbie?
Robbie? हाँ बोलो. Your thoughts, Robbie?
Yeah, emphasizing on the Pavlovic point, I really want to see him keep his form up like he has been playing in the last few matches ever since the rumors started and the news started spreading around that he's leaving the club. I thought he felt inside, he really wanted to show the club that I belong here. That kind of mentality, I think, what pushed him, because when he first arrived at the club and Fonseca, I think it was one of the UCL matches when Fonseca started him and he played very bad. And I was very furious at Pavlovic that night. But gradually I saw him changing it around. Of course, I want to see Reinders, finish, because that's the only thing. We are creating so many chances, but we are converting none of them, almost none of them. And Rangers is fumbling in front of the goal. Liao is a very confusing topic. He is so inconsistent.
Yeah, we understand. Bol.
Liao won. If he feels himself, he would just dribble around everyone like prime Maradona and maybe score in the near post. But if he doesn't, he just passes the ball to somebody and then blames Theo for not running. And another problem I saw, like in the last few matches, Milan just have like two people at the back line. Because none of the fullbacks are tracking back. Theo is all out of position. And Gabia was running was running forward to try to score goals, but it wasn't just enough time for him to track back, and we were just getting overcrowded by the offense. That's I think we need to fix. But other than that, I think if in a derby like they played before in the last two matches, if they can turn up Pulisic, I think right now at this point he's better after the slight injury. So I think he'll perform better than the last match in the UCL match. So yeah,
we'll come to the predictions later. Adrej, on the other hand, obviously the Milan ka tha. On the other hand, just let me share this because we have our lineup. Again, this is the group link, by the way. I'll just pull it down. Join karna hai to kar lo. Again, do not make this community toxic. We are trying to keep it as clean as possible. मतलब banter चलता है, वो सब ठीक है, वो सब में चलता है, we understand. But as I said, we had to kick someone out, unfortunately, and we do not like doing that. But that person was becoming a bother on the channel and on the WhatsApp chat. And he was a Milanista attacking Chintan Bhai constantly, which is very strange. Obviously, एक तो वो बात है. So it's not even like he was attacking an Interista and वो तो कर ही रहा था, but then it got too bad कि constant attacks on Chintan. So we had to remove the person. So वैसा मत करो group को. keep it a clean community. So I'll just pull up Inter's predicted lineup on that note. कहाँ गया? ये रहा. Yeah, here we go. So this is confirmed. This is what Simone Inzaghi tried in his final training session. Adresh, Chintan, and Robbie. There is Sommer in goal as expected. वो तो बदलने नहीं वाला. Pavard starts with De Vrij and Bastoni. Acerbi is actually back finally. जो मैं बार-बार बोल रहा हूँ महीनों से कब आएगा. He's back, but obviously he's not going to start right away. Adresh, Dumfries will retain his place because he's been fantastic. In 2025, probably Inter's best player along with Lautaro Martinez. On the other flank, you have Di Marco, obviously. Midfield में Barella. Hakan is back. Hakan starts right away after returning from his injury. Matlab, this is the first game he's playing since his injury. So he's back. So here the hope is at least कि वो Simone Inzaghi, looking at the fitness reports and all, is taking the right call, because putting him straight in the 11, it is quite something. Again, I'll come to Adresh and his thoughts, and Milanisti as well. Mkhitaryan obviously is not going to get benched, and he's playing well. And Lautaro Thuram is the duo that starts. Lautaro is back in form. Adresh, तेरे से मैं तेरे thoughts पहले पूछता हूँ before I give mine and I get Milanisti's thoughts. क्या बोलते हैं इस lineup के बारे में? You think this has to be it or something else? क्या बोलते हैं?
Yep. I just want to say one thing. It's just a banter thing about this lineup. That is, Hakan came back and he saw that the match was against Milan, so he's like, I'm in. I'm right. I'm in the lineup. I'm in the starting lineup. I want the starting spot. Yeah, but jokes aside, but, as I had said in the WhatsApp chat today, this almost feels like our best lineup.
Yeah.
Like what I get from that is Simone Inzaghi is like, he's like all cards on the table. It's like all in or nothing for this match. He is out for the win. Means apart from the derby, this is a very essential win for us if we want to keep our Scudetto dreams alive.
Yeah, of course.
And the lineup shows. Means I have seen this about Simone Inzaghi this season, that sometimes when he really needs a win, his lineup shows that. And today his lineup is showing that. So I will expect really perhaps the best Inter to be there, like last season's Inter, and no more late concedings.
That has to stop. That has to stop. I agree.
So I'm hoping. I'll tell my predictions later, but yeah, I'm hoping.
Predictions, but also be briefly, since you did not give your thoughts on the Milan predicted 11. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, but I think so. It's a 4-2-3-1, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
That is
Yes.
Reinders as the scam and Liao and Pulisic as the
Liao and
Yes,
Pulisic on
you're
the
right,
flanks
you're
and Tammy in the front.
Yeah, you're right. Anything that. Bol.
Yeah, what I feel like that Musa and Benacer, after such a long time in the holding midfielding, I think so that might be an issue. And I have very strong opinions on Kyle Walker, for example. Like, because many of my friends are Manchester City fans, so I know how he has been playing for the past 2 years, and I have got very strong opinions about him. I honestly feel like, this is my take. I don't know whether this will be true, but I don't think so. Walker will be able to cut it in Serie A, because
Wow,
what I have seen always, I've actually followed Walker's career sort of closely from his Spurs days, kind of because of my friends I keep on hearing. So Walker is that kind of a guy who was very fast, up and running wing back during his Spurs days. But when he came to Pep system, he was more of a tactical guy who didn't used to go forward much, and he lost his crossing ability also. But what was always lacking in Walker's game, if I think so, if I'm noticing correctly, he didn't have much of defensive awareness at all. It was always the system bailing him out, or he has such physical abilities, like his speed
physical
and
abilities for sure.
He always used to make up by his awareness का जो कमी है वो उससे make up करता था.
And that is fair to say in the modern day now, because physically वो same नहीं है, which is a good point.
Exactly that. My point is, for the past 2 seasons, he has been physically declining, and I don't think so that there is any use case of Walker. That is my personal opinion.
That's fine.
I think he'll be exposed. That wing will be exposed very badly today.
Interesting. But before I give my opinion and I get the Milanisti's opinion on this, who do you think stars for Inter? Again, I want you to give a one-word answer. If there is to be a star, who do you think stars for Inter, and who will be the clutch man if Inter was to win this? You don't have to explain it. Sirf naam bol.
Barella.
No, this is for I'll come to you, Robbie. पहले Adrish
Oh,
I'll
okay,
come
okay.
to you and
Okay.
Chintan bhai.
I honestly feel Dumfries' goal from a DeMarco assist.
Okay, fair enough. Oh, wing back to wing back, which we have seen
Yeah.
happening at Inter. I'll give my 2 cents before I get your Chintan bhai and Robbie's thoughts. देखो, this is the strongest lineup. There is no two questions about it. As Adrish said, ठीक है, Acerbi technically makes it the strongest lineup, but De Vrij has been doing well in his absence, so there's no complaints per se. लोग बोलेंगे Zielinski maybe could have started because Hakan is coming back from injury, but Zielinski still needs to improve in the defensive side of the game. और Regista खेला था against Lecce, he did well defensively, but there's a difference in quality between Lecce and AC Milan with all due respect, and AC Milan के midfielders उसको harder time देंगे. Obviously, I think Adrish will also agree. Is
Yep.
this the game for Aslani? I don't think so. With all due respect, I like
After
Aslani,
Super
but ऐसा
Coppa
लग नहीं
Italiana.
रहा है. Yeah, I don't think he can be starting in this game. And apart from that, this is the strongest lineup. Pavard is playing well. He did well in the last game. Bisek भी just injury से वापस आया, so you can rest him, and again he's a player that is growing in maturity, whatnot. Apart from that, again Dumfries को तो खिलाओगे ही. DiMarco will start, Mkhitaryan will start. That's your set 11, so you don't change it. It's as clear as that. So no complaints from my end, no issues. This is the strongest 11. Bench पे focus जाता है. Hope Simone Inzaghi manages the game well.
Yeah.
Because कभी Simone Inzaghi, it happens to any coach in the world, by the way. I'm not saying it's only Simone. We love Simone Inzaghi, but game management is basically what I'm looking at the most. That he has to get right. You make the subs on time, you make the subs right. If you see Lautaro is, let's say, for some reason having a stinker, I'm just saying for some reason.
Yeah.
And he's also, for example, not putting in the work rate that he usually does, then take him off. Just hypothetical situation, right?
Yep.
If Dumfries is struggling against Theo for some reason, again hypothetical situation, take him off, put Darmian in, because he's going to give that balance. Just hypothetical situation. If you feel somebody is starring, कभी बोल्ड डिसीजन लो. जब तुम मिकिटारियन येलो, जब सिमोने इंजागी का मजाक उड़ाता है, येलो कार्ड मिला बेंच कर देता है. बट नाउ फनीली इनफ अदर कोचेस हैव स्टार्टेड फॉलोइंग हिम ऑन दैट, बिकॉज़ a lot of coaches in this season experienced a red card or two where they did sub their players off, especially Monza, and now coaches have started following Simone Inzaghi, so वो एक अलग मजाक होता है. But again, my point is कि if you see somebody on a yellow card, don't need to necessarily take him off. He always keeps Mkhitaryan even when Mkhitaryan is bench booked, so you can keep other players on as well. But apart from that, I really do not have much to add, because strongest 11 है Chintan bhai. I just hope Lautaro continues his form. Hakan hopefully will take right away. That's my main. If I have a concern, is main कि Hakan 100% मतलब रहेगा कि नहीं. But again, these guys are the I always say this, right? I always say the staff is the one that monitors fitness wise and everything. And I know at Inter they do things in detail properly with advanced technology and all, as our coaching staff has said. So I'm sure Hakan is fit enough to play. So those are my 2 cents. Predictions पे again we'll close with predictions later. But Milanisti, what are your thoughts? I'll start with Chintan bhai, then go to Robbie. क्या बोलते हो Chintan bhai?
Strongest 11, yeah. I think when you look at that midfield, I feel probably one of the most compact midfields in the world right now. If you ask me, you put out this Inter team for just remove Acerbi, get Acerbi and De Vrij, and I think this is a UCL final put up lineup. I feel this is amazing. So Milan has got their work cut out, boys. Again, I feel the only little worrisome part for Inter when it comes to the derby has been twice. Is he subbed off, जैसे परम बोला, whenever he subbed off Hakan Barella off, and that's when Inter का slide आया. Against the Super Coppa, without my basic understanding, an international player quality like Barella, subbed off 82nd minute, when there are 8 minutes away from penalty shootouts, it is beyond me. Like, you have to trust that.
Exactly.
I understand you want to sub off anyone else from this 11. You sub off anyone else is fine. Except Lautaro and Barella. These are 2 international stars. You expect them to keep their cool in situations like this. And I know he was frustrated with that one call which didn't go his way. But players snap out of it very fast. And Barella, if the game is going on, I feel Barella not getting subbed off and Inter winning that Super Coppa. That little small details can change a season. Luckily, Inter are in a very good spot right now. And I know people have been talking about how Inter needs to win this so desperately. I still feel it's more at stake for Milan than Inter when it comes here.
I feel it is at stake for both teams.
Both,
but Param, we are at a stage now because the teams are so far ahead of us.
Exactly.
We cannot afford to lose a single point.
That's the thing that Chintan, y'all are far behind, and we also, if Napoli was to beat Roma, right? Let's say we lose, and if Napoli beats Roma, the gap
Yeah.
बढ़ जाता है. 6 points is either 3 point cover up. Obviously, we have a game in hand, but you get the point. The 3 point
Yeah.
because Napoli is playing 1 year, so it's at stake for both. I always personally don't. ये मेरा opinion है. This is just my opinion. कि whenever somebody says this is more at stake for one team, but technically every team has its reason to say कि यार भाई ये मेरे लिए ज़्यादा important है. So yeah, go ahead, Chintan. I just feel it's important equally for both clubs, to be fair.
Yep.
Yeah. And I feel, Param, no, I just meant in only one sense में why it means more to Milan. I'm just saying, of course, a big game. Boss, I think पूरा management is turmoil. If this result does not go our way, basically आग लगी हुई है. It's like fueling fire, ऐसा हो जाएगा. Conceição के लिए I feel, I've been saying it, Param, हम लोग ने जब भी watch साथ में एक episode shoot भी किया था, Fonseca was not sacked, and I was asked which manager you would want, and I had said I would want Conceição. So I really hope he stays because we need this regime over here going on. So I really feel this Inter lineup is, we have our work cut out. We have to be ready to play a lot without the ball. That is what this Milan team needs to learn. You have to be ready to play, keep your shape without the ball. If that happens, unfortunately for Milan, Lautaro has just turned the page after a while, and he's banging in goals. Barella, for me, is top 3 midfielders in the world for me. So there's no questions asked. For me, best Serie A player every year should go to Barella only. Naturally gifted player. So this is the work cut out for Milan, So here we just hope that spur of the moment we catch Inter off guard, or push Inter early, get that early goal, will make a lot of difference. So probably, मैं जैसे बोला Param, simple logic, you put this team out for a UCL final also, this might win you it.
Robbie, तू क्या बोलता है? What are your thoughts on that lineup?
एक ही बात बोलना चाहता हूँ कि second half बहुत important होगा, because like as we've been saying, like the substitution, if Inzaghi pulls away the players, then maybe we can do something about it. But this Inter lineup is scary, to be honest, and we really need to build up our chemistry. Like Chintan bhai said, off the ball is very important. We need to defend, because the way Lautaro is playing, the way Dumfries is playing, and Barella to hai hi. It's gonna be very difficult for us to defend, because even teams like Como feels like prime Real Madrid, and Parma is overcrowding our defense. At times it felt like I was watching, like there was 4 on 2, and the 2 were Pavlovic and Gavia, because Theo and Tomori were nowhere to be seen. No, that wasn't Tomori, that was Calabria that day. But yeah,
I get your point. I get it. But yeah, go ahead.
That's what I'm saying. We really need to build up that chemistry.
Fair enough. Yeah, I agree, because maybe वही बोलूँगा कि against Inter you have to show that cohesion and chemistry on the pitch. On that note, I'll just take last few comments and we can give our predictions and close the stream. मैं सबके comments जो रह गए वो ले रहा हूँ. Don't worry.
One thing can I add to what Robbie said? Yeah. Just one last thing, that is Hakan. What Robbie said, he is not completing the 90 minutes since he's back from an injury.
Maybe. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. So mostly, I think the Zielinski who is coming on. That's my prediction. So that is the time we need to manage the game. If we are ahead.
Now that's a good point. That's a good point, because
I
you
don't
are right.
want that PTSD of Supercoppa Italiana to trigger me back.
Either Aslani comes on, or Zielinski comes on, or Barella gets moved to Regista.
Aslani.
I want Aslani on the field.
बात बोल, रॉबी साला वही विनर मारेगा.
Jinx protector है ना यहाँ पर.
If that happens, मजा आ जाएगा. If that happens,
Jinx
मजा आ
protector.
The revive is Inter.
But
Oh God, guys, game is over. We have someone very special on the chat. The game is over. We have Arun over here. So यार Robbie यार छोड़ दे अभी.
Arun आ गया.
Arun chat में आ गया तो boys in Milan are going to lose this game. Inter के
Fiorentina is
third और fourth star आ जाएंगे. Milan का second star नहीं आएगा Arun यार.
Second star नहीं आने वाला कभी. Done and dusted.
But on another note, Fiorentina is leading Genoa 2-0. Moise Kean और Goodmanson ने मारा है, just to keep you up to date with other Serie A action. Inter and Arsenal fans is 4-1 for the Inter. Fair enough. Kyle Walker assistant layout score says Ankit. You never know, can happen. But let me just get to quickly take the rest of the comments and we can close with our predictions.
Kyle Walker assisted last time.
No, you never know. Look, you never know. We as Chindan bhai said, Aslani ka wo log jo bol rahe the, you never know if Aslani Pudelos and if
Fair,
Kyle Walker.
fair, fair.
So, Robbie, with Gautam Gambhir vibes to the Messi Ronaldo question now.
Interestingly, I said the exact same thing in the Rossoneri group. When people used to ask me Messi or Ronaldo, I used to be like, oh, Andre Pirlo, and walk away like Gautam Gambhir.
That's interesting. यार मैं ना कभी इस डिबेट में रवि इतना इंडल्ज करता ही नहीं था इवन एज अ
No,
किड
no.
सो रियली आई डोंट पर्सनली हैव एन आंसर ओनली चिंतन भाई डू यू हैव एन आंसर
Never. I never have an answer. हम लोग को
Exactly.
पूछा था किसी ने
Even-
chat में, would you want Messi or Ronaldo? I would say no one.
हाँ,
Our team is not built for this. I don't think a Milan deserves a Messi right now or a
Yeah.
Ronaldo.
Exactly.
क्या करेंगे बेचारे इधर आके यार? And I am a very
Exactly.
much old school team player vibes kind of a thing. If
Yeah,
we have
Exactly.
Param यार, we've grown up. I have at least grown up seeing like काका और शेवचेंको को छोड़ के जाते देखा है यार. I don't think can get anything tough for me, you know. So I'm used to seeing stars go. So that happens, man. So never been a fan.
Pavlovich basically to winger बोल रहा है that basically that's modern football. He can drive with the ball if he puts his mind to it because he used to do that at Salzburg as well.
Yeah.
I've seen that. So
Yeah,
he
it's
can
wrong.
when he's in form he's actually good at it. Yeah, very briefly Chintan, if you want to answer this very briefly क्योंकि obviously he rejected Spurs, Milan और Spurs का तो agreement था but Tomori rejected Tottenham. क्या बोलते हो?
I feel we don't have a centre back right now. Had this been mid Jan, then I would be very happy. I've been saying, I don't know, a lot of people, Param, क्या हो जाता है पता है? If you example, you have a Scudetto winning team right now. Sometimes people are just too emotionally attached that you have to grow. Milan has to grow. Scudetto winning season में Tomori, thank you for that. He overperformed, I feel. You know, so I'll be very happy if he leaves. But at this moment, if we sell him away, Gabia and Malik Chow is very injury prone. So right now, at this moment, I would say no. But I would be very happy if Spurs come back for 30 million. We need an Emerson Royal ka revenge. So 30 नहीं 35 चाहिए उसका.
Benacer is not the same as who. Again, group का link मैंने share किया था. You want to join?
Param, yeah, two things I would like to say. A big Benacer fan. तेरे को पता है, Param, you know it more than anyone. I've been singing praises about Benacer. I love the quality of a player he has. The world of football, Lobotka, Benacer kind of players को miss करते हैं because football is moving away, Param. जैसे Hakan भी है, you can put him in that mold, you know, not physically that fit, but you know can dictate play. Benacer is not the same. And I would like to publicly say now that Milan has to look beyond Benacer now. Time is up.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Especially after that injury.
Walker only these days is a pace merchant, but may change, you know, in terms of like the change of scenery can help anyone. That's the thing, na Ravi. वही होता है. So that's why I'm not like writing him off एकदम से. I need to first see how he adapts and everything. On paper, yeah, we can make predictions. That's the one thing. But yeah, he's who says I trust Paulucci is redeemed. Yeah, I mean उसको judgment ही इतना जल्दी pass करोगे तो redemption जैसा लगा. I always felt the judgment being passed on him was way too soon. Football space has changed, यार. who मतलब people are very quick to judge players in general. Forget AC Milan
Very
for a
sad.
second. This is what football has become कि लोग players, staff, coach फटाफट से judge करते. Like even those calling for Thiago Motta's sack at UA. I don't know. Sacking is the answer. I don't think that's the answer. And anyways, they won. They were 1-0 down. They still won the game, right? In the end, they won the game. So, यार बहुत judgments easily pass किए जाते हैं. I'm personally, me and Chindan bhai especially come from a time where we give a whole season and over a season. Era बदल गया obviously, but I still personally feel you have to give a season, then maybe depending on the context, a bit more than a season to judge someone. But that's a different era, you know. Thoughts on Joao Felix? वो अभी एक अलग ही न्यूज़ है, अभी डेप्थ में नहीं करेंगे because we need to close the stream. But ऐसा लग नहीं रहा है हो रहा है because obviously Chelsea are refusing for a loan. But I don't know if it happens. We'll see. तभी में भी एक stream में discuss करेंगे. I'm personally not the biggest Joao Felix fan because I've never liked his attitude. I'm not personally वो मेरा opinion है whether he's
same. I mirror that opinion. Not a good, might be talented, but we don't want another Liao situation.
Exactly. लोग आसानी से ना उसका situation बोल. When what happened at Atletico Madrid, people very easily say Cholo Simeone. But if you actually break it down, you have to know that Joao Felix was at fault big time as well. You speak to Atletico Madrid fans anywhere, they'll actually explain the proper situation as to how much he disrespected Atletico Madrid as a club. So Abhishek Sharma, cricket, match चल रहा है. That's why we
I would have been at the match. मेरे पास ticket भी था. But I was a little down. Mumbai में match है. But I would have been there, but then I was like, no, then I don't want to be so dull for the dark season. Had it been 2-all, नहीं, had it been
आपका
2-2, अगर 2-2 हो जाता, level हो जाता इंग्लैंड ने, but India won the series. So
okay.
Yes.
Walker is a runner, says happy bhai. Nice to have you, happy bhai. If you have not subscribed, please do. 2x Arsenal in 3-man Milan midfield for some. Nice, Ravi. Nice. Walker will pocket Dimarco, says who
Pocket
interesting.
Dimarco.
Bastoni will get owned by Rangers. Very optimistic Milan fans. Walker versus Hakan says happy. आगे आग लगे बस्ती में, इंटर बस्ती में. Happy really wanted Bastoni in my team. We need LCB LB. देख, वो तो committed है as of today at staying at Inter. So obviously, I'm sure you would want to have him, and obviously because he's a world class player. But होगा कि नहीं वो तो मुश्किल है, because he's very committed to the club and he doesn't want to leave. There was one time at a point where there was a point where Emerson was wanted by Inter and AC Milan both before he went to Tottenham, which is when
Tottenham.
Barca.
Wow.
Betis days. I
Real
think.
Betis, Real Betis. Yeah.
इससे Barca ने
Betis.
sign किया था, and then Barca sold him the same window. That is when Inter and AC Milan both wanted.
Yeah,
But obviously at the time Spurs won the race, and he eventually got his dream move to AC Milan. Fiorentina winning, sadly, says Arun ये ले लिया था, sorry. Inter 3-1 AC Milan, says Arun. हमारी predictions देखिए हम close करेंगे. आप लोग भी comments में डाली दो predictions. Yeah, we are almost closing this. I hope we win 3-1 with Milan, go in as favorites, having a 2-0. Fair enough. That's also not a wrong assessment, to be fair. Zlatan the goat. Interesting. Wish
Lion.
Yeah, it's
Sorry.
wish.
No.
Robbie said lion. That's Zlatan.
Lion.
And
Stuff.
अबे कब लायन नहीं है, वो कब है.
Yeah, wish Rade Krunic stayed at AC Milan. This whole thing, Krunic, that is so. Arun loves Krunic a lot, so that's his.
Ballon
Ravindra says speculation has been a long time, but why are there an obvious reason why Alexander Pato left Milan the way he did? Very briefly, Chintan, if you want to answer this.
I
Very
think he
briefly.
was injury marred, यार. उसका injury,
Yeah.
people I think in Milan at least could not figure out what his recurring injury
Yeah.
was, and however he was talented, लेकिन उसका injuries kept on hampering him. Pace dependent था, तो unfortunately could not kick his career off. And देखो परम उसके बाद उसका career किधर भी take off नहीं हुआ. Nowhere else it happened. So unfortunately, it is great player. Kafu ने बोला भी था openly he should have and could have been a Ballon d'Or winner because he saw his real potential over there. So
Yeah. Shimiu supporting AC Milan. Regan says ये नहीं हो सकता है because Juventus already have a verbal agreement in place to sign Chico Conceição.
Shimiu, my man, what's up?
Yeah, that was basically a tricky, smart deal they did कि पहले लोन पे उठाया because he's anyways out of the Porto project after his dad left. But Juventus could not spend that amount. Obviously, it's a very high amount, 35-40 million. तो उन्होंने बोला कि तुम लोग लोन पे दे दो, but we'll buy him in the summer when we have breathing room. So it's almost a done deal to Juve. And Milan also, I don't think will be able to spend that kind of money after spending on Jimenez anyways. Or it's not a priority position for them, to be fair. It's not for you all, you being a Milanista. So I don't think really उतना पैसा तुम लोग को spend करें. But anyways, वो UAE जा रहा है.
Yeah.
Emerson was wanted by both Arsenal and Spurs too. Vishesh, AC Milan fans says 2-1 to Inter. Ravindra says 2-0 win for Inter tonight. आपके comments तो लाते रहो, but let's start with our predictions. I'll start with Chintan भाई, क्या बोलते हो?
I'm going to go against the tide. Let's call for a 2-2 draw.
Oh,
Fair.
wow.
2-2 draw for Chintan bhai. You want to give the goal scorers as well?
I would go with. I have a feeling Pulisic will be on the score sheet, so I
Fair
think
enough.
it's a Pulisic and probably a Liao goal, and I think a 2 by Lautaro. I think Lautaro has Milan's number also, so I go with 2 Lautaro Martinez.
Fair enough. Ravi says 2-1 Milan. Benacer and Musa scored and Mkhitaryan scores for Inter. No bias.
भाई बेनेसर एंड मूसा स्कोरिंग आर्सेनल
Benacer,
का
Musa.
इतना ज्यादा है.
मूसा स्कोर किया तो भाई बड़ा मतलब question हमें
मतलब
पूछने.
कुछ भी.
Trolling.
नहीं भाई ये पूरा आर्सेनल बायस है. देख वो पूरा आर्सेनल फैन है. all three Arsenal players.
Mkhitaryan scores for Inter. No biases.
ना भाई
yeah,
मूसा मार दिया तो भाई मेरे को क्वेश्चंस पूछने पड़ेंगे फिर. प्रॉब्लम हुआ है. 2-1 to AC Milan says Shimiu. Optimism always fair enough. I'll go next to I'll finish the AC Milan side anyways. Robbie क्या बोलता है?
This time, judging by the form and everything, I think 3-2 for Inter. And scorers, I think Lautaro brace and Hakan goal. And and on our side, it's gonna be Pulisic and Liao.
Fair enough. Adrish क्या बोलता है तेरा prediction and goal scorers?
I had a very atrocious prediction I had put in the chat in the last stream. I don't know why I was feeling so confident that day. I was over the moon. I said that we're gonna get the revenge for the 6-0 in
6-0.
2001.
2001 6-0.
By the way, Adrish, just to tell you off topic, one of the main reasons why I fell in love with Milan is I saw the
Yeah,
6-0 game.
you that was your first game which you saw. I saw that in stream. I remember that story.
Yeah.
Man, and the thing is that both Inter and Milan were bad at the time, and 6-0 was just came out of nowhere, if I'm not wrong. At
Yeah,
that time.
it was just a
Shevchenko
very.
was on fire. It still wasn't the best Milan squad that we saw under
Yeah,
Ancelotti.
yeah.
Yeah, Serginho with the 6 goal, I guess. What was going on at the time? But yeah, but coming
Serginho
to
was amazing.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But like coming to right now, I'm not right before the game, and on this stream, I'm not feeling that confident. I will go with a 2-1 because I feel like
2-1 for who?
Inter 2-1 to Inter, obviously.
For Milan.
Yeah.
Matlab 1-2. Matlab,
Huh.
since
No, when
Inter
you
are
say
the
2-1, that's fine, but you have to specify the team now.
yeah, 1-2. Inter win 1-2.
Inter wins and goal scorers for you.
I would say Dumfries and Lautaro. I
And
also
for me-
felt like recently, like Inter also creates so many chances. Like even in
Yeah,
the
we-
UCL, that match could have been 6, 7, 8. We only scored
Same
it.
story.
we waste a lot. That happens to a lot of
Yeah.
teams, I feel. But yeah, I know what you're talking about because मैंने वो theme देखा है अपने साथ. Like I remember Monaco against, we should have. Di Marco
Yeah.
could have scored a third goal in 20 minutes, wrapped it up. But
Monaco, क्यों? Why are you going to Monaco against Juventus? You should have finished them off.
yeah.
Yep.
Monaco was
Yep.
the recent game, but Juventus के against तो भाई कितना miss किया. मतलब that could have been 5 or what
Yep.
not.
Even the Supercoppa Italiana final, that
Yeah, should have finished
score could
Milan
have
off.
been 3, 4, 5 in the first half.
So yeah, I get your point. So you're going for Lautaro, Dumfries, and from Milan, if anyone scores, who is it for
Milan
you?
side, I would go for, I think so. Tijani Renders will have a good
Yeah,
match today.
he is definitely someone who has the
But
capability.
like I
I
think
will.
so,
That is Chindan, my son. Hi, he's also a Milanista. I'm sure he'll be watching
Obviously, of course. Forza Milan.
आवाज नहीं आ रहा आपका अनम्यूट करो
जितन भाई म्यूट पे है जितन भाई म्यूट पे
हाँ बोलो.
Forza Milan.
Forza Milan.
I really
All the
wish he
best, all
was
the best.
supporting Inter, but Chindan Bhai has prepared him well. Nice to see him. Chindan Bhai has prepared him well. But yeah,
सही किया.
I'll give my predictions here. I feel I think देखो यार tricky game तो होगा. I'm not expecting a one-sided game at all. Look, you guys must have seen in the stream, Adrish and Robbie, कि मैं Conceição को बहुत time से देख रहा हूँ. Like Porto, as I've said, he's almost like my second team and whatnot. And I've seen the fighting spirit he can instill. He's lost derbies against Benfica. He's been there. He's done that. ऐसा नहीं कि कभी नहीं हारा है. He also loses big games. He also loses derbies. His fighting spirit and his approach doesn't always pay off, but it is also he has a good handle over it. So ये tough game होगा. I feel मैंने जैसे बोला था उस दिन के स्ट्रीम में इंटर I'll stick by my prediction इंटर 2-1 जीतेगी. I feel बहुत close होगा, nervy moments होंगे, chaotic moments होंगे, ये वो होगा. But I feel given again, I know we all say form goes out the window, but I feel I have a good feeling about this one. इसलिए मैंने बोला for me the in-game management of Simone Inzaghi will be key in terms of what Conceição also does. The response. वो भी key होगा. As Adrish rightly said, I don't think now Hakan will also have a full 90. So वो कैसे आप manage करते हो? If you take the lead early, if we take the lead early, or whatever, even if we just take the lead, we all know Adrish, they will fight back to score. वो अपने को पता है. How do you deal with that? Because we do not have the necessarily the most fastest defenders, and they have pace on the wings. I want to simply put that. So how do you respond to all that? You have handled it in the past. You have handled Leao in the Champions League before. ये वो कर चुके हो. So try to go back to those basics. So I still go for a 2-1 Inter win. I think if anyone has to score from AC Milan, I think it will be either Leao or Reinders, one of the two. And from our end, sorry, I think Lautaro का place होगा if anything because उसका form है. So I'm trying to lean into that, and I think he will get.
But the best part about Lautaro is what his finesse outside the box. वो मिलान का by default है. Backtrack करते हैं defenders, they don't close a player. So backtrack करने में you give that half a space to Lautaro, he's going to curl the ball in.
Fair enough. I'll just take the last one.
Like that Parma goal.
हाँ.
What a goal.
तो एक लास्ट पार्मा ये तू रीसेंट वाला बोल रहे हो रॉबी लेचे वाला बोल रहा है कि पार्मा
ना पार्मा
okay I understood ये since I have witnessed Beppe Marotta's work up front here at UA, I just want to acknowledge the work he's doing at his ability to recruit players at low price. Yeah, I mean Ravindra, you said it well कि भाई उसके बिना तो हमारा क्लब प्रोफेशनल मतलब प्रोफेशनलिज्म बहुत लाया उसने इस टीम में. He kicked out all the negative people. Icardi, Nainggolan, Perisic. I'm actually grateful for that. Nobody was taking any action at the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, you said it well. He's a Juventino, by the way. 3-1 Inter, a consolation goal for Milan by Leos is Regan. Banter चल रहा है देखो. हाँ वो तो देख.
But ये boss Inter, but Param ये हुआ ना 0-0 and a 90 minutes penalty either side. You see some people going at each other. वो मजा आएगा देखने में.
वो तो होते रहते. देखो यार refereeing errors के बारे में तो वो banter तो चलते रहते. It is what it is. We don't take it personally. But referee in general the standards are atrocious with VAR. ये तो हर लीग में.
Param dream scenario बता दो. It's 1-0 Milan. Okay, Hakan gets a penalty. He starts celebrating or Hakan scores a goal and he's ruled offside and then camera only on Hakan's face. वो बहुत मजा आएगा.
एक funny वैसा instance ना एक भाई इसमें हुआ था ना एक Milan Derby में recently क्या हुआ था ना where I think y'all were the designated home team or away whatever but y'all were obviously sitting in the curva suit regardless and वो एक clip release हो गया था आपकी fan से कि Hakan was taking the corner and वो Milan fan constantly गाली दे रहा था उसको और उसने corner लिया.
Celebrated directly.
गोल उसी से हुआ एंड हाँ तो वो ऐसे मोमेंट्स तो भाई डार्बीज में होते रहते हैं. दे वंस दे आर कैप्चर्ड देयर समथिंग. सो ह्यूज रिस्पेक्ट फॉर समवन लाइक हिम. इनवैल्यूएबल इन टुडेस फुटबॉल मार्केट. Beppe Marotta, fair enough, because you all have clearly felt the impact after he's left. I'm not saying you all did badly or anything, but I think UA has obviously not been the same since he left. I think we can all agree on that as neutrals as well. देख वो freed. That's not how it works. That's Inter's financial reality at the time, so he had to abide by that. We've also spent money, by the way.
Ravi, अगर free में तेरे को Zelensky मिल गया होता ना, you would celebrate at Arsenal.
Exactly, and most of the players we've signed, we have been delivering.
So you're looking for they need a Taremi right now to finish. Yeah. So they would die for it.
Yeah. And the thing is, we only sign players that are fully 100% giving their word. Like Zalewski, for example, जो अभी deal हुई. Is he the greatest signing we've made? But January में एक तो तुम top signings कर नहीं सकते. But I would say he's on par with Buchanan who was let go because Zalewski is more privy to the league. उसको league better पता है चिंतन भाई. And he knows Italian. He has a Zelensky next to him. And वो wing back खेलता है. And Zalewski ने Marseille को reject किया. That's why we went full in on Zalewski because we only sign players that are fully committing to the club. If somebody has doubts, we say नहीं भाई नहीं चाहिए. So that's we have created an environment where it's not just free transfers. We make signings sensibly. That's why people praise us. It doesn't work out always, but it works out for the most part. Everyone makes
mistakes. That's the Beppe Marotta formula, right?
Yeah. Make him support Lazio. अरे बाप रे क्या यार उसका his son is supporting a better club. You know the rival.
Totally.
Lazio fan चिंतन भाई कभी नहीं बनाएंगे भाई अपने बेटे को. परम भाई Eminem भाई अभी टाइम भी कम है फटाफट से निकाल रहा हूँ स्ट्रीम. Tammy Abraham उसने he in his first Derby he did make a difference. So you never know.
Don't close down.
मतलब close down as in your defenders also have to be good one-on-one to do that. To be fair, Ankit. मतलब.
And I think I believe they also like trust on Mike a lot. Like long shot है save तो कर देगा.
That is a good point. Musa red card. No faith in Musa. Siddhant WhatsApp group का link डाला है. आ जाओ आप.
Yeah, Siddhant join the group, bro.
I'll pull it up towards the end. Match is gonna be late. Yeah, I hope so. मतलब I hope it's not a Hakan scores hat-trick of penalty.
Hat-trick of penalty भाई कुछ भी
मजा आ जाएगा. मतलब Buchanan बेचारा रहना चाहिए था उसको. नहीं मतलब वो इंजरी के बाद ना he would have settled in his shin. He had a broken shin now when he played for Canada in the Copa America. After that he's not been the same. So what's the point? I mean, as much as I like the player, but yeah, live stream as in we are not doing a watch along because late खत्म होगा and we all have office tomorrow. So that's why we did this stream. Match GXR पे है. GXR तो आपको पता है. If you don't know, again GXR का link मैं फटाफट एक pull up करके डाल देता हूँ. Because if somebody is new, might as well put up the link for them. Chintan bhai, just give me 1 second before I close.
Yeah, Karo. And guys, please like, share, subscribe, pass on the word, spread the word. It's a huge game tonight. Probably you might see some fireworks. परम और मेरे घर के दोनों के बाहर fireworks चल रहे. I don't know for what reason. I think.
Derby della Madonnina. Hype चल रहा है.
ये GXR का लिंक है जो ऑफिशियल ब्रॉडकास्टर. I'll come to this जो ऑफिशियल ब्रॉडकास्टर है सेरिया का. Please again, this is the website gxr.world. Their La Liga and Liga streams are down this weekend. They had informed before time. So La Liga, Liga के official broadcasters है, but their games are not visible this weekend. Only Serie A is visible this weekend. So Derby तो रहेगा, don't worry. Unless there is a last minute crash, वो सब हमारे हाथ में नहीं है. But it's not sponsored भाई. मतलब we also have let them know of our issues. Last pit lane, I think अभी के लिए तो Tammy और ये है ना, Jovic है, right? Is there anyone I'm
And
missing?
Kamada.
Yes, of course,
Kamada
Kamada is
pulled
still
off. He pulled the
yeah.
Zlatan pulled the plug on the transfer.
pulled the plug on the Monza.
Oh.
Correct.
Hmm.
So, but
Kamada is
Jimenez could not be registered. Obviously, time नहीं था उसको register. Zalewski can play because he falls in the under 22 category, and you do not have to register under 23 players, so he can play. That's why Inter ने फटाफट process खत्म करके इसको available रखा है game के लिए. Yeah, definitely यार, अगर आपको पसंद है, please like, share and subscribe. Again, the goal is to grow the community. Again, आप WhatsApp group join कर रहे हो, let me pull up the link as well for that. If you're joining this group, please make sure it's not toxic. You can have banter, हंसी मजाक कर सकते हो, but do not make it toxic. That's our community. And of course, Ajay Bhai's channel. Yeah, thanks Arun. At AM Talk Sports again. Ajay Bhai, the Romanista on our channel. He has his own channel. उधर भी जाके subscribe कर लो. And the last 4-5 comments I'm taking, and I'm stopping here. Then after that, yeah, jerseys खास नहीं है. मतलब यही अपने ये season का है. The only good thing about this is the Scudetto patch and the 2 stars. But yeah, it's a very controversial game.
First jersey with 2 stars.
Deepu says Milan nil, Inter 1, Barella goal. Fair enough. Deepu is someone I know. He's a Newcastle fan, but he watches football a lot. So fair prediction. Hakan को start करना चाहिए. He is starting. He's definitely starting. He's done. But again, Siddhant, the coaches, they see the training reports, right? So they know. So I'm trusting the coach on that basis. You know,
I think it's easier to. He might get, even if he's getting 45 minutes, so he might think I'll give him the first 45 minutes instead of the second. Aisa. He won't finish the game for sure.
Exactly. Pit lane is rooting for AC Milan. That's fair. So I guess, guys, we'll close the stream. Any closing thoughts from the guests first, and then Chintan bhai, we can. Adrish, Robbie, you guys one by one. I'll start with the whole designated home team as always. Robbie, any closing thoughts you want to give?
Closing thoughts. Let's just give our best and have a good match and exciting crowd interactions. Please no flares on Dida, and let's just have a good match. May the better team win. That's all.
Fair enough. Chintan bhai, आपके closing thoughts. Let us go.
Nothing, man. I just hope it's a tasty match. Lives up to the hype which it always does, And I just hope Denzel and Theo go head to head against each other. I need some fight.
No, don't jinx it. Theo को red card नहीं खाना चाहिए.
नहीं, but I'm a firm believer of derby है, heated derby होना चाहिए. So let's just hope it's a heated derby and let's go for the win, boys.
Fair enough. Any closing thoughts from you, Adrish? Then I'll
Yeah, I just have this sneaky feeling that at the end, like if it's a Inter win, Milan will have a head loss and there might be a Theo red card or something of that sort. And please, I'll eat my words. I'll be the first one to eat my words if Walker shows up today. I have nothing against the guy.
Walker.
That's just my.
Yeah, relax. Opinion. That's your opinion. You can relax. That's your opinion.
अरे भाई, Adrish को tension नहीं है.
इतना tension नहीं लेने का. You're allowed to give
I'll be the first to admit that Walker is great.
No, you're allowed to give opinions. It's okay. That's fine. You're just giving your opinion.
Yeah,
that was also from Adrish. हाँ बोल Adrish. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, Theo red card. That's my another. At the end of the match, Theo red card with Dumfries fight. Something like that.
Theo red card and all. He wants fireworks. Manikandan, तेरा मेरे बहुत briefly answer करता. I don't want to keep your comment pending. I personally, अगर तू मुझे पूछा, I think he'll have a good game. I want to see how Walker. I'm not saying Walker can't do well, but because Walker at the end of the day, जो भी है, he still has the experience. You never know, he might fit in right well. मुझे पूछ रहा है, I would say I think DiMarco कर लेगा अच्छा, but then again let's see on the pitch. Yeah, Vishesh says this season's Inter's jersey is fine, not that bad. Fair enough. To give my closing thoughts very briefly, again, I think again this is a very important game for both teams, but again ये Scudetto के लिए भी बहुत important है. जीतना ही पड़ेगा. अगर आज नहीं जीते तो problem तो हो ही सकती है. And I have a good feeling. I don't know. I have a good feeling. जैसे prediction है उसी से stick करूँगा. And I think we'll win. And then we'll see where the season goes for both teams after that. That's my take. And yeah, guys, again, as Chintan bhai said, like karo, share karo, and subscribe, please. We are on the road to now 1.4k subs, 1.35 to ho gaya. So again, there's not that long to go. Again, if you like our content, like, share, and subscribe. And again, there'll be a lot of videos coming out. There'll be collabs. We recorded the Bari video finally today, so that will be out soon after it's been edited by our editor. तो वो भी हो जाएगा. So there's a lot of content, which means now we can start the Football Manager save Chintan bhai. So all of the panel will be glued in on that. Finally, Football Manager चालू होगा इस channel पे. So again, guys, like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys very soon. Do watch the Derby on GXR World. Derby मत miss करना. 10:30 बजे है आज रात को. Do not miss it. I know there is Arsenal Man City, but try to find a way to watch both. Yeah, come on, Derby भी देखो. Derby is a bigger game, big game as well. So watch that as well. So yeah, we'll see you guys soon. And in the next team, Forza Inter. Ciao ciao.
Forza Inter. Forza Milan.
Forza